From the very start, my clothing brand was something that could fund itself. I'm very grateful for this as a creative because if you want to be a creative, it would be amazing if all the creative work that you do can fund itself. It's not just about making as much money as possible, but being fully responsible of your creative work and being able to support your own creative work is very important. So today we're going to go through how you can self-fund your creative projects. My name's RK, I help young creators monetize their craft. If that's something you're interested in, it's the first link down below. How I would go about this is, number one, I would first create a separate business account for all your creative funding. This is very important because on a day-to-day basis, we don't want to accidentally overspend and then take money out of our creative work. And we also have a separate account of everything that's coming in and going out, which just makes it easier to organize everything. Next, we are going to make the initial capital so that we can fund ourselves by creating something that's low cost and has high margins. So what this means is low to no cost means you're not spending any money to create this thing, but there is money that you're getting in return. So you do have profit at the end of the day. We're going to go into why this is important. So if you watched my full video on how to create a clothing brand and my honest review, I went into how I made stickers that cost around $2 and then I sold them for $7, and that created my initial capital so that I can fund myself to create more things in the future. This is just to create the initial couple of dollars so that we can actually get into setting ourselves up to fund ourselves creatively. So once you do this and you've generated a couple dollars, it's just like a natural business. We're going to spend most of our money into making sure that we can provide bigger leverage to sell for profit in the long run. So this could be selling something worth a little more, something that might need more supplies to make, something that you might need to ship to the person, and something that might actually require more resources. So that was the only two steps. Create the initial capital and we keep selling our creative services for profit. And then we just spend all the money in order to invest back into our creative services. So if that's all you needed to hear in order to start, you can leave this video now, go start. But if you want to stay, there are a lot of insights that I'm going to be talking about from my own experience. So step 2 is reinvesting into the creative process in order for you to grow creatively. So in order to do this, there are 2 things that you can invest in. Spend on ways you can either improve the way that you produce, meaning you're reducing the time, getting the right equipment, getting the right resources and people to help you, or spend money on reducing the amount of resources that you need. So one is improving and one is reducing the amount of labor that you need to do. So this could mean delegating, getting someone to do a certain part of the task that you might not like. Say you're creating clothes and you really like the logistics and talking to people and the marketing side of it, but you don't really like the creating the design side of it. What you can do is you can delegate and spend money on getting someone to design stuff for you so that you can spend your whole time and resources on just the things that you like doing, such as delegating and improving the communication and marketing of your brand. There are some things that aren't business expenses that most new people try and cope and say that they are. If they don't fall into these 2 categories, they're not a business expense. Something that wouldn't be a business expense is if you go out to a photo shoot and you're going to buy coffee from the place that you're doing a photo shoot at. That doesn't come under your business expenses because it's not helping you reduce the amount of time it takes to create your process, and it's not making you more productive in your creative process. Okay. So the question you might have now is, why should we always sell for profit and not just recycle and self-fund the money? Like, yes, of course, profit is important and we always want to make money, but why should we sell for profit? There are a couple of reasons that are quite important. There might not be things that cost money, but are still resources that you've put in, such as your time, the thought into the creative work that you do, the people that you know, and the services that you provide as a person yourself, and the design tips and the creative tips that you can give to the person that you're working with. So these are things that you should add on to your actual cost of how much it costed to make the thing. So if you spent $20 on art supplies, but then you just asked the person to pay you $20, you're not taking into account all the time that you spent on an hourly basis, and you're not taking it into the account that your skills and the thought that went into creating the actual thing that you did. If you don't feel like you need to charge for these hidden things other than your time, so if you don't feel like you need to charge for your thought, and you don't feel like you're worth the money if you're going to charge extra over your time, maybe you don't have the conviction and you don't have the confidence in yourself because you know you haven't provided enough value. So that's something you can work on. So you always need to work on improving the value that you provide in your services and in your product. If you knew that you were really helping and you're really giving the person that you're working with a premium product that you've put a lot of thought and effort into, you would charge a premium price because you know that's what you're worth. Finally, again, we need to sell for profit because you're going to grow creatively as you design. As you keep reinvesting, you get cameras or equipment or whatever you need to create, the amount of opportunity of the things that you can create also increases. So let's take cinematography as an example, right? You make a short film with your iPhone, you get money from the short film, you reinvest it into a camera. Now you want to make a movie. So now you have to invest in actors, you have to invest in microphones and equipment. The more equipment and the more that you grow and the more things that you invest into your brand, the more possibilities of the different things that you can create increases. So in the end of the day, as your creativity grows, it'll be such a shame if you can't self-fund with it because you decided to just recycle the money and not sell at profit, so that when you do want to create that movie, you don't even have the initial funds to get started because you just had the budget of creating a short film just recycled over and over again. This is another reason why you don't want to be taking from your profits, because you are going to be stunting your growth. There are going to be things that you want to do when you get more resources and when you grow that are going to cost more, that you're going to be stealing from your future self if you take from your profits now. That's another reason you need a separate business account, just in case that you don't get into the trap that, oh, I have the money there, I'm going to spend it on this and then I'm going to make up for it later. It's not how it works. At the end of the day, it's the same essence of having a business, right? But when it comes to the way you frame it, and you're framing it as I'm self-funding me creatively as I grow, I feel like it's a way healthier mindset on the way that you put in effort into making this money. It's very rewarding to be able to take full responsibility of your creative work without losing anything financially. And if that's something that you're interested in, I would love to have a conversation with you. It's the first link down below. Thank you very much.